Our program will begin soon. Welcome to Visa Everywhere Initiative Central Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Our program will begin soon. Welcome to Visa Everywhere Initiative Central Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Welcome to Visa Everywhere Initiative Central Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Welcome to Visa Everywhere Initiative Central Europe, the Middle East and Africa. Welcome to Visa Everywhere Initiative Central Europe, the Middle East and Africa. Our program will begin soon. Our program will begin soon. Welcome to Visa Everywhere Initiative Central Europe, the Middle East and Africa. Our program will begin soon. Welcome to Visa Everywhere Initiative Central Europe, the Middle East and Africa. Welcome to Visa Everywhere Initiative Central Europe, the Middle East and Africa. Our program will begin soon. Our program will begin soon. Welcome to Visa Everywhere Initiative Central Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Our program will begin soon. Welcome to Visa Everywhere Initiative Central Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Welcome to Visa Everywhere Initiative Central Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, an open innovation program that tasks startups and fintechs to solve the payment and commerce challenges of tomorrow. Today's participants are the top startups recruited across the region. These finalists will compete to win $25,000 in prizes, and the winner will represent Central Europe, the Middle East, and Africa in the Visa Everywhere Initiative 2021 Global Edition Finals, where Visa will award a total of $100,000 in prizes. To select our winner, we have a robust panel of judges representing the startup community and Visa. It's time to kick off Visa Everywhere Initiative Central Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Here's your host, Richie Santos Diaz, Economic Development Advisor.
Hi everyone, my name is Richie Santos Diaz, and I'll be your host for the Central Europe, Middle East, and Africa Visa Everywhere Initiative 2021. We are super excited to have you tune in today. Visa has selected an impressive cohort of startups and fintechs, all of which are doing groundbreaking work in the region. These companies are poised to change the world of payments and solve the challenges of tomorrow. But before we get started, here are some words from Andrew Torre, Regional President of Visa Central Europe, Middle East, and Africa, CEMEA.
Welcome to the CEMEA finals of the Visa Everywhere Initiative. I'd also like to extend a warm welcome to our guests today, joining from TechCrunch and the Visa Payments Forum. It's great to have you with us. Today's highly anticipated final features 5 of the most innovative and creative startups competing for the CEMEA crown. The winner will represent CEMEA in the global finals, which will be live streamed on TechCrunch September 14th. After a year of unparalleled change in the physical and digital worlds, startups have helped shape the path to recovery for consumers and SMBs across the globe. Fintechs bring not only innovation, they bring access, they bring inclusion, and most importantly, they bring world-class solutions to market for their clients. This is especially critical for us in CEMEA, where we have over 700 million consumers and 60 million sellers that are underserved or excluded. They provide them with better outcomes and our economies with more resilience. We launched the Visa Everywhere initiative in 2015. Since then, it has spread to every corner of the globe. 7,000 participants have been part of the program across 100 countries, and $2.5 billion have been raised for them. It's a real testament to the power and need of the platform. This year, more than 700 fintechs have participated from CEMEA, more than any other region, and they've been given the task to come up with the payments of tomorrow, with a focus on SMB recovery. We're incredibly impressed with the quality of the entrants, and we're excited to give our finalists access to this global platform. One example is from CEMEA, where together with the Ethiopian Ministry of Innovation, we held our first Visa Everywhere initiative in Ethiopia, home to more than 100 million people and great innovation in payments and commerce. RFPay won that competition, and they're here with us today. It's clear that fintechs play a vital role. They help SMBs digitally transform, giving them access to more customers and credit, and they're the lifeblood of our economies. I look forward to hearing about the breakthrough solutions from our finalists. I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you for your participation. Back over to you, Richie.
Thanks, Andrew. Now, I want to introduce our esteemed judges. First, we have Tad Tillahun, Senior Vice President, Head of Products and Solutions at Visa CEMEA. We then have Otto Williams, Senior Vice President, Head of Partnerships, Innovation, and Digital Solutions at Visa CEMEA. Next, we have Neil Caldwell, Senior Vice President, Head of Merchant Sales and Acquisitions at Visa CEMEA. We then have Shireen Abdallah, Senior Manager at the Dubai International Financial Center's DIFC FinTech Hive. Next, we have Reina Zouabi, Value Creation, Disruptive Investments at Mubadala. And finally, we have Ines Rocha, Director for Financial Products, SME Finance and Development Team at the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Next, I have the esteemed pleasure to introduce the 5 finalists today. First, we have Habtamu Tadesse of RFPay. We then have Iman Uruj of SafePay, Michael Femi Simeon of BPD Money, Alexander Grishin of Corp Bank, and finally, we have Georgie Sortsumia of Hazy. A big virtual round of applause for our judges and finalists. How will today work? Each of our 5 finalists will have 4 minutes to pitch, followed by a 4-minute Q&A with our judges. Startups will be judged on the following 4 criteria. Number 1, challenge fit and pitch presentation. Second, Visa partnership opportunity. Third, desirability and uniqueness, and feasibility of product or solution. Once all startups have pitched, the judges will deliberate privately and select the winner, who will receive $15,000 in prize money and will be guaranteed a spot on the global finals, which will be live streamed on TechCrunch on September 14th. And for those of you in the audience today, your vote will decide the audience favorite winner, who will receive $10,000. After all the 5 startups have pitched, a link and QR code to the voting page will pop up on the screen, along with instructions on how to place your vote. You will have 2 minutes 2 minutes to cast your vote. So stay ready. I also want to welcome John Sane, futures strategist, human behavior specialist, keynote speaker, and author. While the judges deliberate later in the show, John will share his expert insight into how to design business models and initiatives specifically regarding new business flows and his secrets to what we should be focusing on during our time of automation. Now, let's get on to the pitches. First up, welcome to Habtamu Tadesse of RFPay. RFPay recently won the Ethiopia Visa Everywhere initiative. So welcome back again, Habtamu. And a bit of background about RFPay. RFPay is Ethiopia's first mobile point of sale system. So over to you, Habtamu, and good luck.
Hello, my name is Habtamu. I am the co-founder of RFPay from Ethiopia. Ethiopia is a country with 120 million people. That makes it the second largest market in Africa. It's a majority cash-driven economy. Less than 1% of the people have access to mobile money accounts. However, 83% of the people goes to banks physically to withdraw cash, while only the 1% uses ATM machine. Payment systems that are available in Ethiopia. The number one is cash. Everybody uses cash for daily transaction. Then we have old school POS machines. We have about 10,000 of them across the country. However, 50% of them are down for different reasons. And we also have USSD-based payment platforms. Their market share remains under 2%, even though they've been in the business for the last 10 years. Problem with old school POS machine, it's very expensive and people don't like to use them. Solution, the Square of Ethiopia, RFPay. We have mobile point of sale system for face-to-face transaction. Then we have payment gateway for online businesses, such as e-commerce and taxi hailing. We also convert physical ATM card to a digital one using RFPay application. Meet Mike before RFPay. He runs a coffee shop in town called Kafa, the birthplace of coffee, and that's where the word coffee is derived from. He's married with 2 kids. However, he didn't know how his business was running because everything was done manually on paper. And his employees, they rejected electronic payment platforms because they didn't know how to work machines. After RFPay was introduced, Mike was able to order the RFPay card reader. He downloaded RFPay application on his smartphone, and then with 2 minutes of activation and filling out the form, he was accepting electronic payments. And it's very, very easy to use. We also were able to provide him with his own dashboard. That way he knew how his business was performing and be able to prepare for the next business cycle. 17 million people out of 120 million people have bank accounts. However, 47 million people have access to phones. That means Mike was able to tap into a newer market. And as a result, his revenue increased because his customers didn't have to worry about how much cash they have in their pocket. At State today, we recently raised $3.1 million. We'll be the first company in Ethiopia to get a fintech license. We signed up 100 taxi drivers, 5 hotels, and 3 coffee shops for beta testing. And we already partnered with 6 banks way before we go live. Why RFPay and Visa should partner? One is we share the same target market. We have similar mission of empowering SMEs. And we also want to implement Visa's existing campaign, Where You Shop Matter, to Ethiopia. We also want to integrate Visa Direct for virtual card processing and cross-border remittance. Together, we can reshape the payment landscape in Ethiopia and expand to Africa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Habtamu. That was very, very insightful. Now the fun part, the Q&A with the judges. So I want to bring our esteemed judges out here to ask Habtamu any questions. So first off, Tad, do you have any questions for Habtamu?
Hey, Abtamu, good job. Really, acceptance is one of our key drivers in Africa and especially in Ethiopia. And I know for a fact that there's not a lot of acceptance solutions there. And then you being pioneering this event is a good thing. A quick question for you though is we've still got a lot of people without credentials or credit card or what have you. So what is your view about getting more customers to use the system?
Sure, thank you. So our plan is actually to roll out a prepaid card. People in Ethiopia, they don't really trust the financial industry or the government in the past. So we have to help them build trust gradually. So to be able to do that, what we are planning to do is roll out a prepaid card. We can fill it out with 500 birr, 100 birr, and you let them use that card to be able to pay for utility bills and such. So that way we'll be able to, integrate them into the digital economy and to the finance sector as well.
Thank you for that. That was a very good response. So I want to bring it up to Shireen now. Shireen, do you have any questions as well for Hatamu?
Firstly, wonderful presentation. I actually have a follow-on question from the first question that was posed. So given that there is a trust issues, as a part of your marketing campaign, how are you going to educate the consumers that you hope to get as customers as to the benefits of moving into your product and getting the prepaid cards and whatnot?
So that's a very good question. So our strategy is actually to be able to help one business or a customer and then be able to present to the public what they were able to benefit from using our service. That way we will be able to replicate it. Unless you know how ice cream tastes, you don't want one, right? So we want to be able to show them how they can be benefited by using actual example and be like, you know what, you can also benefit from it.
Thank you for that. And strategy and ice cream is very important. So I definitely want to ask another question in terms of via Otto. Otto, do you want to ask Hatamu a question as well? Do you have anything that came about during the presentation?
Absolutely. Abtamu, great work. I mean, there couldn't be a more relevant market for this stuff. We've got SMBs across sub-Saharan Africa and especially Ethiopia that need to move into digital acceptance. Question for you, how are you addressing or how are you currently taking care of merchant settlement? So when those funds actually get received, getting them disbursed to the merchants, and are you seeing a need for working capital?
Absolutely, that's one of our strategy. Actually, we partner, like I said, we partner with about 6 banks, even though we have access to all the banks in Ethiopia. So what we do is we collect our data and then tell them, hey, instead of lending out loan based on collateral based, why don't you use our data to analyze the risk assessment. Based on that, this companies can actually benefit from a loan. But specific to the fintech license that we are getting into, we're not allowed to lend out for lending. We need additional license and additional capital raising. But absolutely, that's part of the plan.
Neil, do you have a question for Hatamu as well?
Sure, Hatamu, great job so far.
Thank you.
Just quickly, could you talk about compatibility with mobile of some of the technology? Are you relying on 4G and a strong signal? And do you have a contingency if that's not the case?
Even though we have 4G and LTE, the internet speed is not quite there compared to the 4G in the US or anywhere else. So we made our application where we compressed it 5 times so it would work perfectly on a slow internet, and at the same time it would also work offline. They keep the data not on our side but the National Bank of Ethiopia server side. So once it gets internet, it will trigger that transaction. That would be perfect idea for rural areas part of Ethiopia. But in terms of the application, it's compatible for Android and iOS, including the lower end of the basic smartphones of Android.
Thank you for that. And unfortunately, we have to cut it because of timing. But thank you so much again, judges, and please remember to vote. Next, a big welcome to Iman Uruj of SafePay. SafePay enables businesses across Pakistan to accept digital payments. Iman, over to you, and good luck with your presentation.
Hi, I'm Iman. I'm the head of business development at SafePay. We help Pakistani businesses accept online payments. Pakistan has a population of 220 million. It is going through a period of rapid digitization. The number of smartphones has nearly doubled in the last 2 years to 81 million. However, in spite of this digital shift, digital payments are lagging and only account for 0.2% of Pakistan's nearly 100 billion transactions. Why are digital payments so low? That is because the online payment system is broken. Pakistan's current payments rails are inadequate, from onboarding to successful transaction rates. We believe the solution to this problem is technology, and that is why we founded SafePay. Let me tell you about Danyal, one of our customers who runs Simply the Great Food. They source raw, pure honey from the remote Himalayan mountains. Seriously, best honey ever. Danyal works closely with artisanal beekeepers to ensure and protect their livelihoods, their traditional way of life, and the sustainability of their work. Like most Pakistani entrepreneurs, Danyal is going digital. However, he has a huge challenge, accepting online payments. With SafePay, in a few simple steps, Danyal can sign up and start accepting payments from anywhere in the world in a secure and compliant way. We do this within 2 weeks, faster than any other provider in the market. We have a robust risk framework to ensure that our merchants are verified from the highest international standards. We only charge Danyal per transaction, so we only make money when he does. We knew that there were hundreds of businesses like Simply the Great Food who were underserved by current providers, and we wanted to test our hypothesis in a controlled environment. During our beta period, the response was overwhelmingly positive. We onboarded 300 merchants and grew total payment volume 50% month over month. We then paused our beta services to pursue a formal regulatory license, and I'm happy to report that we are on track to secure in-principle approval with the State Bank of Pakistan. We are the first Pakistani fintech to participate in Y Combinator and are also backed by Stripe. This is the foundation on which we want to build with Visa. We know from firsthand experience with small businesses that Visa's global payment network is not yet accessible to them. We want to begin by working with CyberSource, a Visa solution, to take advantage of Visa essential services like fraud detection, tokenization, and global cross-border acceptance. We then want to work with Visa Click and Pay. We know that Visa is crucial. CyberSource and Visa are crucial for businesses like Danyal's to scale. The World Bank estimates that Pakistan's digital market potential is $36 billion. Regulations are improving and favorable. Foreign direct investment is increasing. This is the background in which SafePay wants to create its payment solution and provide secure, accessible, and simple payments in the market. We want to build a world in which entrepreneurs like Danyal and his remote beekeepers in the north of Pakistan can access the global market and in turn help lift the wealth of their nations. We want to build this world with Visa because we share the same values of financial access, inclusion, and impact. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Iman. That was very interesting work, and it's very interesting what you're doing in Pakistan. So now let's go over to the Q&A with our judges and see what they have to think. So first of all, Rena, do you have any questions for Iman?
I'd like you to clarify the size of the digital retail / e-commerce market in Pakistan, and what is your target customer today, i.e. your total addressable market?
So our target customer, like e-commerce in Pakistan, is growing consistently. It grew 35% earlier this year. Our total addressable market is basically anybody who has access to a mobile phone is somebody that we are targeting.
Thank you for that, Rena. And yes, do you have any questions you wanted to ask as well to Iman?
I know Pakistan and government is really pushing for digital payments. And so could you talk a little bit about your competitive landscape? I know there are already a number of digital payment providers in Pakistan. So what differentiates you from others? And how do you plan to beat the competition? Thank you.
There's a lot of competition now in the market, and we see that as a great thing because it keeps the market healthy and it keeps innovation going. There's currently two types of competition that we have. There's existing banks and there's other fintechs. In existing banks, there are two main banks that have payment gateways. What differentiates us is that we are accessible to the kind of customers the banks are not. We also have a smoother onboarding, we're cheaper, and we're faster. With other fintechs, instead of seeing them as our competition, we have a collaborative approach. It's such a big market, and there's so many different problems to solve that all of us are working on different problems. So we see it as like they're tackling a different part of the piece and we're tackling a different part of it. So the spirit is more to collaborate and grow the proverbial pie.
Thank you for that. I think competition is always good, but collaboration is always good as well too, right? So thank you for that. My next question is to Otto. Otto, actually, do you have a question for Iman?
How are you getting the word out to your target base or to merchants, and how are you actually acquiring those merchants today?
So we have two types of acquiring. There's inbound and outbound. And in the inbound, we're quite well known in the startup community as the payment gateway to go to. And then we've been bullish and also pursuing big name brands because even though they're bigger businesses, they still feel that the payment solutions they have aren't up to the mark. So we've also gotten some of them. And luckily, demand has not been a problem for us. And that has been really validating that we are providing a product that is good. So far, it's just been us being able to keep up with the demand we have.
And we have time for one more question. So I want to bring Shireen up here. Shireen, do you have any questions you want to ask Iman?
Yes, I do. Firstly, Iman, thanks for the presentation. And it's always wonderful to see a female entrepreneur in the industry. You mentioned that the turnaround time to get merchants on your platform is 2 weeks, which is the fastest in the world. What about your technology makes this the fastest? And to what degree is this unique to your company and unreplicable by others?
So what we have is we have simple plug and play solutions, which are very easy for people to integrate. So they do not previously, customers in the market would have to go through 4 or 5 APIs and then be able to use it. Whereas with us, we've got plugins for the major e-commerce platforms like Shopify, WooCommerce, Magento. They easily do the integration. We have an onboarding process where it's easy for them to send us their documents. Everything is very simple and very user-friendly. And so the process for the customer is very, very simple.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Shireen. Thank you, judges. And congrats, Iman, on passing the Q&A. So I wanted to just remind everybody as well to just please remember to vote. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Next, please welcome our next finalist, Alexander Grishin of Corp Bank. Corp Bank connects corporations to banks through a single API.
Hello, my name is Alexander. I'm an executive director in Corp Bank. I'd like to tell you a story about corporate treasury. Corporations have the money and the people to manage it, called corporate treasurers. Kate is the only treasurer in the company with 5 legal entities and 10 accounts in 5 banks. In the morning, she goes to 10 client banks on 5 PCs and saves statements in 5 different formats. Then she manually combines everything and sends it by email. Also, she is responsible for payments, loans, deposits, and risks. Kate goes home late at night. We have a solution, Corp Bank. It helps Kate to use ERP as one window to all banks. All statements are uploaded automatically. ERP sends reports before Kate begins to work. We install on-premise system on the corporate server. One side, we connect Corp Bank directly to banking APIs. From the other side, we give to the customer a single API or building ERP solution with advanced user interface. Now Kate is happy. More than 20 Russian corporations get effect from using CoreBank. Sheep Corporation reduced 100% of its labor cost for uploading statements. Met is saving 90% of its labor cost on servicing exchange functions with banks. Rosseti reduced 80% of its labor cost on reports. There are 100 trillion B2B payments in the globe. 80% corporations want to get effect of banking APIs to access the account balance online, have access to data on the banking statement, and to transfer payments. But less than 1% of corporations are able to connect their ERP to banking APIs on their own. Visa has connections with a lot of banks across the world. We can help Visa to get new customers on the corporate market. Together, we can offer to corporations an amazing service, the one they are dreaming of. Visa B2B Connect can be used to make cross-border B2B payments and for corporate cash management. Corporations will be able to quickly move its money between accounts in the group's companies in different banks using only their ERP. Visa Direct can be used to transfer payments to pay salary, insurance benefits, and for domestic B2B payments, including taxes. CoreBank has been developed in Russian market, but it's applicable anywhere in the world. Solution CoreBank plus Visa can work in many markets and for companies with businesses in different countries, for example, North America and Europe. I believe corporate customers across the world are looking for one universal API for payments building their ERP. Let's do it together and make the world simpler and smarter. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alexander. Spasiba. Now, let's go to our judges and transition to the Q&A. So I want to bring Neil on stage. Neil, do you have any questions as well for Alexander?
Alexander, it was a great presentation. I wanted to focus on the ERP side of your technology. How complex is it to integrate to multiple ERP systems?
I think that it's quite simple because we already build advanced user interface, so building solution, and it takes minutes to integrate for some ERP system. So for some ERP system, we can create some apps. For example, for SAP, we can create app and add it to their app store, SAP app store. So the same we are planning to make for any ERP system. So it took 2 weeks to integrate just now. Thank you.
I want to bring Tad now. Tad, do you have any questions as well for Alexander?
Absolutely, Alexander. It seems to be a very interesting optimization project for corporations into the banking system. I'm not clear, to be honest, like how Visa plays in this role with your company, and knowing that most of our connectivity is in between financial institutes.
I think that Visa can help to fast integration between ERP system and banks. So we discussed with some colleagues in Visa that corporates can issue corporate digital card and to use the connection with Visa Direct to transfer payments from their business cards to customers, to pay salary, to pay security benefits, insurance benefits. We can use Visa Direct to make all payments in domestic and Russia. So we discussed also the plans to use B2B Visa B2B Connect to integrate corporations with this network. So Visa can help to build such integration faster.
So my next question is, it's actually, I want to bring Renat to the stage. Do you have any questions for Alexander as well?
Just clarify and in a quick sentence explain the value proposition on the banking side and how you're onboarding those banks. What's really driving them to join your platform?
Okay, thank you very much for a clear question. Banks support our strategy because the banking priority is to accept corporate requirements. Corporations in the market looking for this solution. They choose banks if the bank have their API. The trend is to make ERP system as such as a marketplace. So corporate want to make loans, deposits, on send messages to the bank and exchange every information with banks through their ecosystem, through their ERP. So we support this trend, and banks help us. Banks support, and banks give us customers.
Thank you for that. And thank you again, Alexander. Thank you again, judges. Congrats on surviving this panel Q&A, Alexander. And just please remember to vote. Please remember to vote. Thank you. Next up, welcome to Michael Femi Simeon of VPD Money. VPD Money is a digital bank that serves consumers and businesses across Africa. I hand over the microphone to you now, Michael, and good luck with your pitch.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael Femi Simeon. I'm the co-founder and CEO of VPD Money. We're building something progressive in Africa, something that will connect Africa in the diaspora and Africa at home that will enable them to manage their finances anywhere they are in the world. Presently, the incumbents lack interoperability. They suffer from legacy problems, and they lack borderless capability in terms of reach. In Africa, Africa have over 1.3 billion people. 60% of those people are under 25, which means the youngest population in the world. You have 350 million are unbanked adult. That's people who actually have financial needs, but they don't deal with the bank. Then you also have 75 million African in diaspora. These are the three segments that we believe will be using of VPD. I will give you an example of Sarah and Mo. Sarah is our personal account, and Mo is our business account. For Sarah to be in Sarah, she has to deal with 5 different financial institutions just to run her daily life. Whether she's making remittance or bill payment or savings or investment or pension. VPD solved this problem by creating a customized experience for Sarah. What do I mean? Just imagine a pizza topping. So Sarah can be selecting what kind of flavor, whether it wants meat or salami or whatever it may be on her pizza. In this case, she has selected virtual cards, multi-currency account, and pension dashboard. Pension dashboard because 90% of people do not have visibility of their pension dashboard in Africa. Again, same things for Mo. Mo is a business owner, SMEs, with trying to get by, but he has to deal with 4 banks and 3 financial apps. Now, again, VPD create a platform for Mo to resolve his problem by automating the whole experience in terms of bulk transfer accounting, accounting, reporting, and payroll. And more importantly, in Nigeria, for example, it takes average of 3 days to open an account. Mo will be able to do this within minutes. So what I'm describing it is improving banking experience, reducing cost or eliminating cost for our customer, and giving them greater reach in terms of borderless capability, which the present banks are not doing. So far, we have onboarded over 41,000 merchant, processed 9 million. This is since November last year, $9 million. Issue out over 5,000 virtual card and signed 5 major banking partner. And our average monthly growth is 996% per month. The partnership we're looking today with Visa, presently we have over 20,000 people waiting for our card, and we need to serve these people with the virtual or physical card APIs. Visa Direct cross-border border experience will be very good for the likes of Mo or Sarah. It's very important that we serve our customer right. Card issue and training packages, payment connectivity and fraud monitoring tools, the ability to connect seamlessly for our users. Effectively, what we're trying to do, we're trying to create a world where our users have access to manage, save, and invest their finance regardless of their geographic borders. Thank you very much. You can reach me on this following address. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael, for that interesting presentation. As you are a digital bank, I wanted to connect you now to our digital judges. So first off, Otto, I want to bring you on stage here. Did you have any questions for Michael in terms of his pitch right now?
Absolutely. Great presentation, Michael. Thank you for that. And I like that it's a comprehensive solution from consumer to small businesses. Michael, what is your path to revenue and how are you addressing customer acquisition costs?
The way we break down what you know as banking, we turn it into a Lego. Effectively, you will see in our graph that the graph spike up is because some businesses are using the APIs. And one of the advantages that we have over banks is traditionally banks are not allowed to cooperate together, whereas fintechs are building relationship, and which means that we can reduce costs for customer. So not only that the consumer are consuming our API in the way I described in previous, you also have businesses that are finding cheaper to come to us, including microfinance businesses are finding cheaper to come and use our tool because we're cheaper than the bank, than existing bank. And that's part of our strategy to grow. It was deliberate.
Thank you for that, Otto. And cheaper is always good, right? So I wanted to bring Rena to the stage. Rena, did you have any questions as well for Michael?
I do. Michael, could you just confirm what are the products you're offering today for your customers and why those products? Just take me through the product strategy a bit.
The way we see the millennials and the Gen Z, the way they consume products is different from the way banks are presently offering them. They want to build their own customized experience. So whether the bill payment, the bill payment dashboard, the cash back dashboard, so you can build everything around that serve your own purpose. If it's a cash value, if it's a bill payment, or if it's a virtual, some people we've unified the what traditionally call the wallet experience and the banking experience. We've unified it together with the remittance experience and translate it to a card experience. That's the V triangle in terms of solution that we're offering. So from your traditional bill payments, the cashback, the transfer, the API, but not only that, we also make those models because we're using level of assurance 4, which is guided by international standard, thanks to the PSD 2 to onboard people. So once we onboarded you in a solid way, we'll be able to give you certain ability that we believe that people can. People know exactly what they want for them from their digital bank. But all the things I described on the stuff, all those products will let you decide which one you want.
Thank you for that. And we have time for one more question. So Shireen, do you have any questions you had for Michael?
Yes, I do. Michael, thank you for the presentation. Now, I've seen many challenger bank propositions that specifically cater for the African population. What would you say is your #1 unique selling proposition?
we have a few competitors, but none of those competitors have been able to break down what you see as a banking experience into a Lego. We also have the strength of all different banks and different partners from different regions and create holistics that will bring into one area where allow consumer directly to build their own experience in terms of what they need.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Congrats on surviving the firing squad of the Q&A. I wanted to thank the judges, and please remember to vote. And finally, a big welcome to Georgie Sort-Sumia of Paisley. Paisley makes it easy for businesses in the Commonwealth of Independent States, or CIS, to accept online payments. So I want to hand over the microphone now to Georgie, and good luck with your pitch.
Hi, I'm Georgi Sort-Sumia, co-founder of Payz. We're a one-stop shop for all online payments in CIS countries. The market we are targeting is very interesting. In 2020, e-commerce sales were only 1% of total retail sales, but it is targeted to grow up to 20% and total market value of 200 billion by 2025. On this market, we are already serving all kinds of merchants, some of the smallest mom and pop shops to some of the largest online marketplaces, giving them the ability to receive Visa card payments online. We're giving them ability to automatically split funds, receive QR payments, and recurring payments. But what has been most interesting was our recent product rollout of payment links. And I'll explain why. This is Leia, one of our merchants. She's a rug artist from Georgia. Leia has huge demand from all around the globe for her rugs, but the most important thing is that she cannot receive online payments. She is tied to cash and wire transfers. And Leia is not alone. There are millions of artisans like her all around CIS countries. And this is what we developed for her. Leia already registered and got verified on Payz platform in just 2 days. She created her catalog of her products on our dashboard in just 1 minute, taking 1 minute per product. And she has already synchronized with her Facebook shop, Instagram shop, and any other social media shop in just 5 minutes, enabling her to receive Visa card online payments from all around the globe instantly. And this is how she did it. Via Payz dashboard, she uploaded her product photos and description, generated unique payment links which she shared with her clients all around the globe, and received payments instantly. Now she can track all her information, finance and accounting on Payz dashboard. Our business model is very straightforward. We make money on transaction-based fees. But what's most important is that we have a gamification model, meaning the more you process on our platform, the less fees you pay per transaction. This is why our clients love this, because we make money only when they make money. Up to now, we have had some major achievements. We received the payment service provision and e-money license from National Bank of Georgia in August of 2020. In December of 2020, we launched the product. By January, we already had the largest financial institution, Bank of Georgia, as our minority shareholder. In March, we won the acceleration program of 500 startups. And in April, we were already serving 175 clients. And in May, we reached 35% month-over-month growth in gross transaction volume. And this is just the beginning, because with working closely with Visa and integrating CyberSource for best-in-class fraud management, we believe that we can serve our merchants to receive online international payments from all around the globe with low risks, while getting VisaNet API for Payz merchants will enable them to scale globally. And we are also looking for principal Visa membership. We believe this is partnership for greater good, because with VisaNet APIs, Payz will be able to serve the underserved millions of Leias around the CIS. And we are striving to build the one way to pay in all of CIS countries. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Georgie, for that interesting presentation. But what do the judges think? So let's go to Neil. And Neil, do you have any questions you wanted to ask Georgie following his pitch?
Sure, Georgie, great pitch. Really impressed with how quickly the solution can actually work for your clients. Could you talk us through how scalable that is across multiple markets and what are the key considerations you'd have to make to scale?
The model we have developed in Georgia and several CIS countries is scalable very well because we have targeted a specific user base. We are pretty much copying and pasting it to each of these countries, which have very similar legislation. And the market base and target market is also, we know the ideal customer very well, and we are really targeting with a solution that has not been available for them on demand.
Cheers, Neil. And speaking of scalability, I want to scale another question via Ines. Ines, do you have a question you wanted to ask Georgie?
And great pitch, by the way. Really, really like that.
Thank you.
On the scalability, and I work for the EBRD. We operate in all of these countries actually very regularly. And just looking at your map, you have very different countries with very different levels of development on the fintech side. So are you planning to get licenses also for these countries? And how is your marketing strategy, so for some some are clearly more developed than others. I'm thinking, challenges in Turkmenistan, as you probably know, but other, more promising markets like Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan who are growing very fast. So what is your, marketing strategy and also in terms of the licensing and regulatory side? Thanks.
So what we are targeting is following. With Visa Principal Membership and with the banks that we are working with for acquiring partnerships, we have already partnerships set in place in the majority of these countries. So this enables us very quick go-to-market action plan for these markets. Then second part is the unique, let's say, marketing plan. We are targeting the local artisans. That's one of the things that we want, because each of these countries have a very specific culture, and we want to enable these artisans to be able to shop globally. And this is the plan that has been working very well for us so far.
Thank you for that. Now I want to bring Tad to the stage. Tad, do you have any questions you wanted to ask Georgie?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Georgie, great pitch, very clear and everything. Hey, one maybe question that I have for you, being in multi-market, what's your view on fraud and chargeback potential problems?
Thank you, Ted. That's one of the most important things we are looking at right now. We are, first of all, we are the first cloud-based fintech platform in this region which has received the PCI DSS Level 1 certification, and we are looking at both like security as well as fraud very closely. And this is, again, one of the main reasons we are working very closely with Visa and CyberSource team for the implementation to make sure that any high risk or potentially high-risk transactions can be monitored and checked ahead of the time, as well as what we are doing. We have developed a machine learning tool which does a scraping of each of our merchants just to make sure there is no risk of transaction laundering. So combining these two tools together, we believe will lower the risks of chargebacks highly. So this is our plan going forward.
Thank you, and congrats, Georgie, for surviving the grill and egg. Thank you, judges, for your time, and please remember to vote. Thank you, startups, for those great pitches. Now, audience members, check out the link on your screen to vote for your favorite startup. The startup with the most votes will win $10,000 in prize money. You have 2 minutes to vote. And remember to come back later to listen to John Sanet. While the judges deliberate, we have a special guest. A warm welcome to John Sane, future strategist, human behavior specialist, keynote speaker, and author. Over to you, John.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Richie. It's a wonderful privilege to be here with you at the Visa Everywhere Initiative CEMEA Finals. And let me just say, wow, do the judges have a tough time ahead of them. I'm so impressed with all your solutions. I wish you all the best of luck. I want to speak to you today about two key topics that I am tracking that I think are of paramount importance when designing business models and business initiatives when it comes to the future. The first one is this concept of new business flows, and I'll dive deeper into that. And I'll also dive deeper into what the superpower, the underlying secrets of what we need to be focusing on in a time of automation. So let's start off with the business models. You know, about 40, 50 years ago, what we used to focus on was this idea of globalization. It was the key word. It promised us sort of all new types of riches, all new types of models, and all new types of connections and collaborations around the world. And this really did come to fruition. We saw that globalization become something that we all kind of used to today. The second sort of flow that we started to experience about 20 odd years ago was the concept of digitization. Obviously, with the advent of the internet and the growth of our accessibility to digital first worlds, we saw that this again became a flow that we started to focus on and really did bring about massive new businesses and massive new collaborations and connections around the world. Again, today, something we kind of used to. But only about a year ago did we start to see a brand new business model get formed. And this new business model is called dispersion. We're starting to see dispersion happen in so many different aspects of our lives. Restaurants, we don't always have to go to restaurants, they can deliver to us. Universities, we don't always have to go to universities, we can study anywhere. Hospitals, we don't always have to go to hospital, now we have telemedicine. Head offices and offices, we don't always have to go into them, now we can work from anywhere. This process of dispersion is really important to keep on top of mind when designing any products, any services, as we will start dispersing more and more as we become more comfortable with digital first engagements, as 5G starts becoming proliferated around the world. So when you are designing any product and any of your solutions, remember that globalization has morphed into digitization, which is now morphing into dispersion. Now let's talk about the superpower that automation will require. Now, you don't have to be a genius to know that everything in the world is going to be automated. Every single little job has the potential to be automated. Whatever is process-driven, language-driven, sort of logical in its way of understanding will be automated. Everything from doctors to lawyers to tellers to drivers, all of it will be automated. So what do we do in a world where machines do so much of the work for us? Well, we need to become more human than we've ever been. And by this, I mean what machines can't replicate is social cohesion and emotional connection. So when we do see a world proliferated with AI, data, machine learning, and so many new technologies that are coming, the one thing that we can focus on as human beings is this emotional connection, this social cohesion that we can bring about to have that connection to our consumers at the end of the day. Now, we know that the 10,000 hour rule that Malcolm Gladwell made famous in Outliers was something that many people thought about and practiced for the longest time. But the 10,000 hour rule was really very, very good for the old world. For this new world, what we require is a range of different skill sets. And it's in this process of understanding the range of skill sets that you need to dive deeper into your curiosity and into your skill sets and combine those to bring about a very unique and personal process that you can bring as a product or as a service to the market that you're going to be working with. When everything becomes commoditized, when everything becomes automated, the only thing that we have available to us is our curiosity, is our wisdom, is our genius. And this has always brought about this concept of trialing new things out there, accessing passion, excitement, and bringing that into the emotional and social cohesion. I wish you all the best for this competition. I hope that you focus on dispersion and you focus on this concept of emotional and social cohesion. Best of luck to everybody out there. Back to you, Richie.
Thank you so much, John, for that interesting discussion and advice for all the fintechs and startups that are tuning in. So now I'm welcome and I'm happy to bring back the 5 finalists, as well as our lead judge, Tad, who will be announcing our winners today. So before we announce the overall winner, the audience also had a say in the outcome, as we know. Thank you so much to everybody who voted just now, because your votes do matter. So the audience favorite will receive $10,000 in prize money. So Tad, I want to hand over the virtual microphone to you to announce the audience favorite.
Oh, thanks, Richie.
Ooh.
The startup with the most votes from our audience goes to Iman of SafePay.
Thank you.
Iman, congratulations on how you feeling right now. You must be obviously happy.
Overwhelmed. I'm so grateful to everybody who voted. Thank you so much. We're going to give this money back to a charity in Pakistan, so thank you so much.
And it's probably, obviously, there's the overall winner, but then you have the audience tuning in who voted for you amongst the others, which also all have amazing solutions. So I'm sure you must be just over the moon in terms of the audience selecting you out of the other 4 finalists.
Really over the moon. Thank you so much.
And congratulations again, and thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So he did it again, but now what we've all been waiting for, the overall winner announcement. This startup will receive $15,000 in prize money and will be guaranteed a spot in the global finals that will be live streamed via TechCrunch on September 14th. So Tad, I want to hand over the mic again to you to announce the judge's decision.
Hey, thanks, Richie. First, this year, we've received about 1,300 participants in the Visa Everywhere initiative. And I would say that the CEMEA region really held most of the participants. We've been impressed by the quality of the participants, both on the innovation and also the ideas that they bring to the table. Secondly, I want to say thank you to the judges who are here with us today to help us choose the winner. And also a huge thank you to the finalists today. You all have done a very good job, and it's been a very difficult decision. But as you know, there can only be one winner. After a careful consideration, the judges have decided that the overall winner of the Central Europe, Middle East, and Africa Visas Everywhere initiative for 2021 goes to Georgi of Paisley.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's amazing.
Georgie, you won.
Wow.
How are you feeling right now? You must be obviously happy.
Overwhelmed. For Richie, competition. I'm the guys present here to be on this platform. It's just honor for us, but to win it against or together with this competition, it's just really, really humbling and overwhelming. So thank you to judges. Thank you to everyone at Visa, Kite team, and most importantly, our team who has been rocking everything that we are doing. And thanks, everyone. Thank you so much.
Good job.
And we'll be rooting for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Good job. And we'll be rooting for you from region.
We'll make sure to represent the CEMEA region on a very high note.
Awesome.
Do us proud, huh?
Yeah.
Thank you again. And congratulations. And a big thank you again to stellar judges and finalists. And a big congratulations again to the winners. And finally, thank you to you, our amazing audience, who tuned in across all the living rooms and kitchens in the world to tune into today's Central Europe, Middle East, and Africa Visa Everywhere Initiative 2021. To learn more about the Visa Everywhere Initiative and how to partner with Visa, visit the Visa Partner Portal at partner.visa.com. I'm your host, Richie Santos Diaz. Have a lovely day. Thank you and stay safe. Bye.